This morning, I was out in the fields near my home, listening to the wheat blow in the wind, feeling the cool morning air. I've been picking spearmint in my greenhouse to make spearmint lemon water to drink today. And now I'm replanting this terrarium because the current one isn't looking so great. These are all common things I do these days, but I didn't do anything like this a year or two ago. This process to find rest has been huge for me, and I have so much to share. I'm witness to what happens to our mental and physical health when we don't find rest. And I have so been enjoying this journey of better balance and seeking rest. So I am in my greenhouse, which is not quite finished yet. We are almost done creating the shelves. I'm excited to share more with you about what I am doing in this greenhouse, but I've brought in this terrarium to rework today. It was in our homeschool room this whole past year. I'm doing this today as I talk because caring for houseplants or making a terrarium and those kind of things are not things I was making time for until this year when I started seeking more rest in my life. So the first thing I wanted to say about rest is that mothers give so much. We help our kids learn new talents, practice those talents, and gain gifts and explore the world and be creative. But often in the process, we get out of balance and we don't do those things anymore ourselves. And I really feel like the sacrifices of motherhood they're beautiful and they are amazing. To be a present mother, women often find they need to put higher education, personal interests and hobbies, or careers on hold. Everyone is different, but there are huge sacrifices we make to put our children's needs higher than our own. And those sacrifices are beautiful, but balance is needed in all things. And really, every day, we as mothers can still progress and develop our talents and connect with nature and gain new interest. And these things will actually give us rest from the daily grind and routine. But you might be asking, how can I have time for that? So first of all, I think too many women are spending time watching other people's hobbies instead of having their own. We mindlessly scroll through social media, watching people paint or cook while we are not doing these things ourselves, instead of watching other people do them. It's because it takes intentional thought and planning and action to put down our phone and do those things. And we might think we are too tired, but actually watching TV and scrolling through social media are not actually good and true rest for our minds and our spirits. So years ago, I sat down and calculated what you could do in the same time as it took to scroll through social media for just 25 minutes a day. And that is 153 hours a year. What would you do if you had 153 hours of free time? Can you imagine what you could accomplish if you use those 25 minutes you would have spent on social media each day to improve yourself instead? So I actually calculated it out. You could read the New Testament 3 times, read 4 classic books, read 4 biographies, and play tennis 30 times with your husband and paint 10 paintings in that same amount of time. And these things offer so much more rest and refreshment and strength than social media, which actually drains us and makes us way more anxious and unhappy. We will find more rest by putting down our phones more often and seeing the wonder of the world around us. Are you at the park letting your children play while you are looking at your phone? What are you gaining by being on social media and looking at updates or watching reels? What are you missing by doing that? The beautiful sky, playing with your children, hearing your little children's voices and laughter, they will not be little that much longer. You're missing the squirrel up the tree, the wind, the rustling leaves. Whatever you are doing, be engaged in it, not engaged in your phone, and you will find more rest in life. I want to give you a challenge if you watch TV to try an experiment. I actually used to speak around the world giving this challenge, and the stories people told me about how it changed their lives was amazing. Here is the challenge. For 3 months, turn off the TV or social media and replace watching other people do things on a screen with doing good and beautiful things yourself. But I know what you're saying. I'm so tired at the end of the day. I need to wind down. I need to relax. Yes, you do. But it is important to keep this in mind. People think they need TV to wind down, but studies actually show that watching TV is not an effective way to wind your body down and relax. It does not let your mind relax, and it makes it harder to fall asleep. And if you're not extremely selective about what you watch, much of what is on TV has subtle and not so subtle wrong messages and material that will have a negative impact on your spirit and will leave you feeling empty, depressed, and confused and discontented. There are much better ways to seek leisure and enjoyment, ways that strengthen and inspire your spirit rather than damaging your spirit and wasting your precious time. Sometimes what we think we need is not what we really need. The things that will really fulfill us and bring us feelings of satisfaction and joy are not usually found through entertainment on a screen. To find real rest and to truly relax, take a walk, write in your journal, play the piano, listen to a good audiobook, read a biography, read something that immerses you in beautiful descriptions and messages. Spend time talking with your husband or a close friend. Study the Bible. Grow herbs. Spend time reading scripture and praying. Learn to knit. Create terrariums. Go to bed earlier. Write in a gratitude journal. Write poetry. Study the details of beautiful art. These kinds of things calm, strengthen, and uplift us. We have to intentionally decide to turn off or limit social media and TV. And we have to intentionally plan what we are doing with our free time. It's more than just desiring. It's intentional planning. So I suggest sitting down and writing out a plan. Writing down the things you want to bring into your life. It's easier to read poetry at night if you put a poetry book on your pillow in the morning. It's easier to look at a book of art during your tea time if you set the art book on the table before tea time. An early morning walk like I took today in nature is not going to happen if you don't set your alarm and make a plan. Also, it's not about needing to add more things into your life or having increased expectations in your life. You don't need to be learning languages and instruments and reading piles of books. It's more about replacing wasteful technology with simple, easy things that really fill you and bring you peace and joy. For example, you could listen to classical music while you nurse your baby instead of watching social media reels. You could practice a foreign language 10 minutes a day instead of scrolling through Facebook. If learning a language is meaningful to you, you could cuddle up with an uplifting book instead of watching a sitcom. You could turn off social media for designated parts of the day. You could go on a walk and write in your journal instead of watching a movie. You could sing hymns or listen to the Bible while you wash dishes instead of watching contentious talk shows. I was speaking at an event once, and a man came up to me and said something like this: "I met you 10 years ago. You don't remember me, but I remember you. I took your challenge to turn off the TV and replace it with something better. I used to watch a half-an-hour episode of my favorite show every night before bed to unwind. Instead, I started reading biographies of great men and women for a half an hour each night before bed." The man then teared up and told me that it literally changed the course of his life. At first, he said it was hard. He missed his TV shows, but soon reading biographies became something that he thirsted after and that filled him with noble ideas and inspiration and brought peace to him and truly helped to reduce his stress and anxiety. And it ended up inspiring him to change things in his life. He told me that he was a different man and a different father and a prominent leader in his community now, all because of that one change. We have one beautiful life to live. Every day is a gift. There is so much to see and to explore and to experience. There's so much to become and do and learn in this life. And the beauty of it is that these things fill our souls and increase our talents and our knowledge and also bring us rest. One other thing to keep in mind is that True rest is best found through Jesus Christ. He said in Matthew 11:28-30, "Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." He said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, and ye shall find rest unto your souls." As we pray and ponder, He will show us how to use our time to truly do things that bring us rest and relief.